Once upon a time, there was a hard-working merchant who traveled to the market each day to sell goods. He owned a sturdy donkey that helped him carry heavy loads over long distances. One day, the merchant loaded the donkey with sacks of salt. As salt was a precious commodity, and he was eager to make a good profit at the market. The journey to the market required them to cross a shallow river. As they carefully made their way across, the donkey accidentally slipped and fell into the water. When he finally managed to get up, the donkey felt something strange. The load on his back felt lighter. The merchant quickly realized that the salt had dissolved in the water, making the bags much easier for the donkey to carry. He was slightly annoyed, but grateful that they could continue on to the market with what remained. The next day, when they reached the river, the donkey remembered what had happened the day before. Realizing he could lighten his load by falling into the water, he intentionally stumbled and let the salt bags dip into the river. Sure enough, the salt dissolved again, and the load became much lighter. The donkey was delighted with his clever plan. He continued to deliberately fall into the water each time they crossed the river, pleased to be free of the hard work of carrying heavy loads. The merchant soon realized what the donkey was doing. Frustrated but determined to teach his donkey a lesson, he came up with a plan. The following day, instead of loading the donkey with salt, he filled the bags with sponges. The donkey, noticing the lighter load at the start, felt confident and assumed that he could once again lighten his burden by falling into the river. As they approached the river, the donkey carried out his trick, pretending to stumble and fall into the water. However, this time, as he stood up, he was in for a surprise. The sponges absorbed the river water, becoming heavier and heavier. Instead of lightening his load, the donkey now found himself carrying an unbearably heavy burden. The donkey struggled to stand up and continue on his way, but he had no choice. The merchant watched with a knowing smile as his donkey trudged on, realizing that his clever plan had backfired. The donkey had to carry the water-laden sponges all the way to the market, exhausted and humbled. From that day on, the donkey learned his lesson. He no longer tried to avoid his responsibilities by taking shortcuts. He understood that hard work couldn't always be escaped, and that avoiding his duties only made things harder in the end. Morale: trying to escape responsibility through shortcuts may seem clever, but it often leads to more difficulty.